What's up, everybody? My name is Sebastian Bleak, and we are off the clock. Today, we're going to be talking about social media stuff, because a lot of you guys don't know how to use your hashtags. But really, if you're an artist, you're going to get a lot out of this. I'm actually going to take a bunch of notes, because I need to step my social media game up. And today, we got the perfect person to help us out. We got the homie, Michael Mondragon. What's up, bro?
What's up? How you doing?
Cracking with you, man.
Oh God, it's been a long month, but hectic, but in a good way.
Right on.
Yeah.
Man, I feel you. Like I was telling you a little earlier, I'm wrapping up this course. I got a couple videos I need to finish up, so it's kind of cool. I feel like I'm stretching out myself a little bit too thin, but it's awesome stuff. And like in a month from now, I'm gonna be so proud of all the work I did. So hopefully you're kind of in the same situation.
Well, if you think about it, it's September already. We're almost at the end of the year.
It's 2018, bro. It's 2018.
Like, where did this go?
It's 2018 already, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, I started realizing that, like, I don't know, like a month or so ago, I was like, man, I'm already like setting goals or whatever for next year. Like, you know, I like to put little marks on what I need to do for next year. Yep, I already got them in the works.
Awesome. Well, that's good. And you know, it's like, you know, we were saying before, like, you know, from your shares, never stop learning. I mean, that couldn't be more relevant with what I'm going to talk about, but also what you're doing. I mean, you're teaching, you're giving yourself away, you're giving your knowledge away when it comes to all this stuff. And it's like, that's what perpetuates all this kind of creativity and positivity. Yep. So it definitely keep on doing what you're doing. I mean, it's like, there's a lot, we have a kind of a thankless job, you know, at times, you know, it's like, so, and at times it's a minimum wage job, but you have to take your wins where you can.
No, I feel you, dude. I feel you. No, even when you were saying that, I was like, man, like, you know, my videos, people act like it's all easy. Like, man, I work all week on like a video. Like, it's a trip. Like, just trying to research stuff and then doing the recordings and stuff like that. So, no, you're right, man. It's a trip.
Well, hopefully at the end of this, you'll feel a little bit better, because even though that we as artists sometimes put ourselves on an island, we're not alone. And like, for instance, I'm not next to you. You're in what, more central LA. Yep. I'm more in Pasadena. So, but we're right next to each other. We're able to communicate freely and give it ideas and do this kind of consistently, but also reach other people that are trying to, you know, we're not even at I will never be at the level that I want to be at. So like, this is just a part of like always trying to get there. I mean, and until I'm not on this planet anymore, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So
until I die. I like that. But no, and dude, you're right. Like, I was even thinking about that. Like, I mean, you know, the folks I'm doing the Photoshop course with, I think they're in Utah. And then, you know, I'm also part of the Adobe Community Professionals program. So this morning I was on with like folks that are in other states, other countries, and you know, we're over here setting up stuff for Adobe Max. What's up? You ready, bro? You ready for Adobe Max?
Right.
And then
I'm so excited.
And then, you know, Carlos, man, he's a huge help with a bunch of my tasks. Like, man, even stuff that don't even have nothing to do with him, he helps me out so much. And he's in Costa Rica, so yeah, you're right. He's like been a huge help for me. So like, I see what you mean.
So we're all right next to each other, and we all have similar vibes, and we really want, like, Carlos's success is my success. Your success is my success. So I think that, you know, anybody who tunes into this, if they get one thing out of it, I'd be so happy. And I mean, I don't mind hitting my head on the tree branches as I climb up. So it's like, yeah.
So what's up, bro? What do we got? You want to go ahead and jump right into it?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, sir, the floor is yours.
Awesome, thank you. I gave this talk at the networking group that Sebastian and I go to, called Digital Media Artists LA, or DMA LA. It meets monthly, every third Tuesday in Los Angeles. There's a great Facebook group, and they're also on Twitter and Instagram. And we go there quite a bit. Networking is a part of what we do. But I feel like as artists, we probably don't like to promote as much as we should, because I think a lot of the part of, I mean, when I was learning art and graphic design, it's kind of funny because it's like artists weren't rock stars. Rock stars were rock stars.
Yeah.
So now like chefs or gamers or other, like now people that do logo design.
Dude, everybody's a rock star.
That's right.
Rock star barbers, everything.
Right. I mean, like, and if you go on Instagram and look up barbers, there are people generating business as barbers on Instagram. Yep. They don't do any other thing except for that. They just show their haircuts. And that's killer to me that exists. Yeah. So there's, food bloggers. When you look at there's a whole network. The Food Network is about cooking food, not eating food. Like watching people cook food. It's fascinating. And people love to watch the process. So
yeah, I'm addicted.
I feel like as artists, we're kind of missing the boat when it comes to all this stuff. So I'm gonna try and give you just like some 10 tips on how to share like an artist on social media. So my name is Michael Mondragon. This is Mondragon Design is my company. We do graphic design, branding, and I also have a sister company that works along with me that I have with my girlfriend Melissa.
Your logos are clean, bro. You got some slick logos.
Oh, thank you. and Nerdy Connections is our social media and marketing branch of our business. So we actually just split it up recently to be more clear about kind of our direction and what we're doing. So Melissa Talwar is my girlfriend, and I'm Michael Mondragon, and those are Snapchat spectacles. They used to be the Google Glass. We accepted Google Glass, so our bearer has been updated. So this is some of the people that we've worked with. I'm not doing this just to brag. Actually,
brag.
When you're an artist, you try to work for these types of people, but you find out that a small business is just as big as the Grammys. It's just big as anything. So it's like, I sometimes don't like showing this because it seems like I'm at this super level and I'm not. I just was able to work with these people in a very small capacity or large capacity.
No, bro, you made it, bro. You made it. That's it.
No way. So far away from made it. Okay, but again, my disclaimer is I'm a work in progress. Woo. I've worked in 27 years as a graphic designer. I started in the 90s. You remember the 90s, right?
1900s, bro. Yep.
That's right. Color, not the band, the comedy show. Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Nature. All right. So I started really in the early 90s. I was a sign painter, and I didn't do desktop. The computer wasn't the big thing. It was actually you had to do literally cut and paste. Piece board. So I've done everything in graphic design you can do, but I'm always a work in progress, and I always will be. On that kind of subject, nobody's perfected social media yet. I haven't seen anybody that's done it because you can't. It's always an evolving thing, and there's always evolving.
It changes too much too fast.
That's right. Yeah. And there are no perfect social media accounts. You can see someone, they have a lot of followers, they have a lot of likes, they have a lot of engagement, but they're not perfect. And they're always trying to come up with something new. So that is the key. So never think that you have to be perfect on this, because you're not going to be. But there are things that you can do, because there are an infinite amount of bad social media accounts. Okay, and I see them all the time, and they drive me nuts. But that's okay, because I can't. There's ways of filtering those out. And I think that if you're an artist and truly want to be a brand and want to get noticed and want to get better jobs and want to further your career, you're gonna have to use social media. I won't say correctly, but do it with a plan in mind.
Right.
And I had to rebrand myself 6 years ago because I wasn't getting the type of work that I wanted to get. So one of the books that I have that I'm going to use liberally, because Austin Kleon actually encourages it, is the Show Your Work. He also has one, Steal Like an Artist.
I heard of that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually spoke at Adobe Max probably 3 years ago. This book came out 3 years ago.
And that book is so big, like people keep talking about it. Actually, Scott Kelby recently did a live stream recently, and they were talking about that.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, Carlos is on. What's up, Carlos?
Carlos, thanks for joining. Yeah, so I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like it's probably a 215 page book. I got through it in a night, and it was awesome because it really, for me, it justified kind of what I'm doing. Yeah. But if you're just starting, it's definitely a good outline, and it gives you 10 ways to share. But I'm going to actually use another guy named Chris Do. I saw Chris Do 3-4 years ago as well, and he was doing an AIGA talk about motion graphics and the business of graphic design. He's eventually kind of morphed into a more of a business design consultant, brand strategist, and now his company is called The Future. You can look them up. They're very active on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So please check them out. I'm using, again, liberally because Chris and Austin asked to share the knowledge. This knowledge is not anything that it's proprietary. It's not anything that hasn't been said before, but it definitely, if I can reach more people, I just want to spread the word and help people that I'm like.
And real quick, what about the shelf life? What about the shelf life of this info though? Does it change, like does it give it away because social media changes so fast and
no.
Or is this like the foundation stuff that'll last a lot longer?
So I'm not gonna talk about Snapchat. Let's say, like, how can you increase your viewership on Snapchat? Yeah. Because that's something that would evolve.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna give you some basic stuff on how you can strategize your social media strategy, because you are a brand. So it's something against your brand. Are you posting something that's like, whoa, what the heck is going on? So I think that will give you more
cool.
insight. Another guy that I follow religiously is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he is a guy who not only talks about, I mean, he's become more motivational, which has been a kind of a brand change for him. But I feel that he actually knows his stuff when it comes to social media as well. He was talking about Facebook dark posts. You know, like that wouldn't make sense to a lot of people, and he says like it was going to be a game changer. This was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it made me want to know more about what those types of posts are, you know, and how they can give me an advantage over other people.
Yeah,
you know,
I really liked his book and how he started off as a wine seller.
and yeah, I actually read that about 6 years ago as well.
What was it called?
And he
forgot the name of the book.
Crush It.
There you go. Yeah.
And he actually, as luck would have it, he actually started another wine business. So he just launched on either last week or the week before. I like Gary because he says he's one day going to own the New York Jets.
Yeah, like that's his long-term goal. Yep.
I mean, like, think about it. Like, all I want to do is watch baseball and drink craft beer. So if I stick to what I want to do, did I win?
Yep.
Yes, and I think that's awesome. Mari Smith, Joel Comm, and Carlos Gil are also some people that I also follow. So, where do we start? Which one do you want to start with?
You got MySpace on here, or what's up?
Is Google Plus in here? I don't. It is in here, right there, right in the middle. Anyway, so when you look at it this way, you can't be on every platform here. It's impossible. If you're lucky, if you dedicate all your time to Twitter or Facebook, you know, or it's super difficult. And when you talk about your business, your brand, differentiating from your personal life, that's where it gets really super complicated.
Yep.
So there's probably logos on here that people don't even know what they are.
Yeah, a couple of them I'm not too familiar with. What's the bottom left M?
That's Medium. So that's it's yeah. So and then I think they've even changed their logo recently. So Medium is I believe it's articles that of interest and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of Reddit is pretty close to Reddit as well. So again, like, do you have to be everywhere? The answer is no, you do not. So the pressure is off of you. You do not have to be on every single platform. But I would advise that you know how to use each one of these, and we'll kind of go into that a little bit.
And Carlos says if you want to hide something, post it on Google Plus.
Well, yeah, but it's so funny. We talk about Google Plus.
Yep.
It's still around.
It's still kicking around.
Still talk about it.
Yep.
And it's hooked up with Google. So I actually did I actually verified my business, Mondragon Design, with Google, and you can actually do posts, and you're literally feeding it into a search engine. So I could be putting my own articles into a search engine, bypassing it. You don't have to put it on another site, and there's a lot of advantage to it. So Google Plus, I think that they might have missed, the wave of this popularity, but I still think there's going to be something there. So don't sleep on it.
I feel you. Right on.
So the first tip is you don't have to be a genius. Sebastian, are you a genius?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
So either am I.
No.
So, and I'm sure everyone watching, I hope, if you're a genius, you shouldn't be watching this.
Carlos is a genius. Carlos is a genius.
But see, we can look to Carlos as a genius. But if you're humble enough to say I'm not a genius, then you still have a lot of work to do, and you still have a learning to do, and that's shareable.
Yeah.
Sharing your process. Sebastian, you've done that.
Yeah.
You've taken your learning to another level when you wanted to document it, and that's what I'm talking about. If you were a genius and you already knew all this stuff, you probably wouldn't want to share it. Right? So you have to become a documentarian of your work.
Ah, that's cool. I like that.
So who's going to write your story? You're the only person that's going to be able to tell your story the best. So is like, when those people say like, oh, someone wrote an unauthorized biography. You don't want that. So you can do that, and you can actually show your process of how you do things, and that's the work that you can show. So that's where a lot of artists get tripped up. I don't have anything. So you do. And tip 3 is you have to think process, not product. So you're not really showing the end product of what you made. The process of what you're making and how you do it is your content. So Marcus Lemonis, which is another guy that I love, the Prophet. That guy's awesome. He taught me a lot about business, so I highly recommend him as well. So the process, he says, trust the process. If you have an awesome process in place, how you're going to share, how you do things. So Sebastian, the how you put this video together of talking to me ahead of time, getting your setup, your video setup, getting your audio setup, that's a process. Yeah. And I think people would love to see that, and just even seeing your space where you're at. They want to see that.
That's cool.
So also feel free to jump in at any time if you have any questions.
Yeah, actually I like that because it's like I'm not I could just imagine. Well, I didn't think about things that way. I'm over here just like in this little room in the back, and it's just looks like all makeshift. So I never really thought about like anybody wanting to see any of this stuff, but maybe you're right.
If I turned around the camera right now, you would think that I'm in a garbage scowl.
Dude, you're at YouTube right now, aren't you? You're at the YouTube studios. That's what it is.
Hey, perception, my friend. Perception. And by the way, that is my goal, by the way, to work at YouTube Space LA. Woo, and there's a whole process for that. So we're working on that. You have to get 5,000 followers, 5 to 10,000 followers. So we're going to work on that.
Dragon right now. Go follow his stuff.
There you go. Exactly. I need it. So these are some things, and this is from the book. I don't know if you can still see me or not. This is from the book. These are things that you can share. So if you go through this, I think a lot of people would not think this deeply into it. And it was really great just to see all this, because you're not alone. You're not you have stuff. If you're an artist, you have inspiration. You have people that you admire. Those people, are like-minded people. So you're trying to build that community. I have perfect knowledge of this because when I was working with a recruiter one time, and I won't say down and out, but I was definitely at I don't know if it was an ebb, but it was definitely a flow of my business. It was low flow. Yeah. And I had what I thought would be the least, probably the lowest thing that anybody would want to see. It was some like website site mapping. That site mapping got me my job that I work with Kaiser Permanente. Nice. So whatever you have is shareable, and obviously there's proprietary things. I mean, obviously make sure that if it's if your client doesn't want you to show it, then don't show it. But I try to work that in, like, hey, I'm going to be sharing this stuff. I'm going to be putting it out there for myself, and that's the agreement that I try to make with my clients. Gotcha. When I was doing this, it occurred to me that I had to take some of my own advice. This is Archon mounts, and they build the Pro phone holder that I've wanted for a long time. And I've been doing a lot of drawing lately, and I've always wanted this because I need to do this. Now you say you could probably do a tripod or whatever. Yeah. I think this is pretty cool, and it's supporting a business that's actually right over here in Arcadia, California.
That's a cool setup though, man. It looks heavy duty and sturdy.
It's super cool, and a lot of bakers use this, a lot of food bloggers, and I need it because I need to show the people that I can actually sketch. I have never shown anybody that I can sketch. And I'm having to do a lot of sketches for a thing that I'm doing recently. So I'd like to be able to share that I do that, and this is the way I'm going to do that. Awesome. So not a plug, definitely check them out.
Carlos, go buy this, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're super cool, and they have a lot of cool things. So definitely check them out. And they're super active on social media. That's how I actually knew about them. So Archon mounts, it's archon.com, I believe. So when you're doing your posts, you have to ask yourself, is this post shareable or engaging? The biggest thing is that you have to ask yourself is, who cares? I mean, people may come down on me, but I find myself saying that a lot when I look at stuff. Like, why do I care about this? Why are you sending this picture out? Is it bragging? Is it I love kids. I love everybody's kids, but I'm trying to curate my Facebook posts to see people's work. I want to be inspired. Right. So if I go on Facebook and it's my friends, I'm gonna be okay with it. But if I don't know you and you're sharing your family, yeah. I feel like I'm in. It's a bit of intrusion. I feel. And it's one of those things. So we're in this age where it's very easy to have your phone and post really quickly. But if you're a brand, does it go with your brand? Okay. So this is the thing. So you have to ask. I mean, it's definitely a pivot. A lot of people may not like me for this, and I'm okay with that because I'm trying to make you a better artist, and get you out there because I want you to make six figures. I want you to make money. I want you to get noticed. And if
I want what you want, bro.
Yeah, exactly. For you too. So I'm saying it's like make your social media the place that people go see your work and what you do. If you and I think I talk about this more in depth later. So this was from the Yasan Cleon book. So should I share this? Is it useful and interesting? And it breaks it down like this. So it's really super simple when you think about it. And you kind of have to do a little bit of this, a little bit of tweaking. So is it good for your brand? Definitely share it. If not, then don't use it. But definitely go through this process. So the tip 5 is tell a good story. Yeah. And then share the stages of your creation. So if you're doing a logo, like I'm starting to do things where I'm just doing design is the last thing I do. I've been saying this a lot lately. So going through the thesaurus.com, going through and trying to figure out what types of words go with this is a stage of the process. So something went from endearing or motivational or inspiring. It went from me looking up that word to other words that mean that to a symbol that represents that. So that whole process is shareable, and people love seeing it. They love seeing what you make, what's coming out of your brain, what you're working on. If you do that, people know what you do, and they'll want that version of it. I just saw somebody recently, there's a brewery over here called Mount Low that I'm a big fan of. I just happened to, and it was just completely random, I saw on Instagram someone was doing that. They showed the pencil sketches of the logo that they're making for them.
Yeah.
So I just randomly ran across that. I wouldn't have been getting a new logo had I not seen that. So there you go. So the story was like, hey, I know this place. Oh my God, they're getting a new logo. I could have been the one doing that logo. I'm an artist.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that too. And then like even right now when you're talking about like sharing the story of the process and stuff like that, that's kind of where I started this Twitch channel. Like everybody on YouTube would leave me comments like, "Oh, I'll never get as good as you at Illustrator." And I'm like, yeah, you will. So I started this Twitch channel so they could see me like fumble around on stuff. Like that's why I do the tutorials, and I have Carlos and you guys come on and teach me different things, so that people could see like I don't just. It's not like the Matrix where they just plug my brain in and I know this stuff. Like I actually have to try these things out, ask a bunch of dumb questions, and then go through it, and that's how I learn it.
I used to work in an office with super talented artists, and that was the best thing I could have done because I had somebody that I wanted to be better than the whole time. I even challenged somebody to a design off one time. I said like, let's go. It's like Fight Club.
Yeah.
So it's like let's do this. I was so confident in my skills that I say like, let's do it, and I will have everybody else judge. And the guy backed down. But
Michael's a savage.
But that's how passionate I was. I knew my stuff so well. Even if I didn't, I still have that confidence that I need to be better. I was willing to even lose to learn something, and I was like that's. I mean, I'm not saying go fight your coworkers.
Yeah. No,
I'm saying like be passionate about what you do.
That's
so
powerful, man. I like that.
So share something small every day. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to like have this amazing post that and it's also watch what you want from it. Because it's like, it's not about getting likes, it's about getting engagement, like having people know what you do when they go to your social media. So, and then that just have something small, and it doesn't have to be huge, but definitely share something small. The addendum to this is make your graphics consistent. And when I say that, this is what I'm talking about. This is Gary Vaynerchuk's YouTube page. So if you look in the middle here, that's season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3, part 4 of 6. They're all in the same kind of color scheme. But if you look at that at the bottom, season 2, it's a different color scheme. So visually you can tell. And they're all in kind of the same kind of vein as far as like, when I look at it, it kind of tells me a little bit about it.
Gotcha.
It's not perfect, but it definitely tells it's a identifiable story. Type Ed, which is these guys, and let me go back here. Gary Vaynerchuk has 833,000 followers. Type Ed on YouTube has 522. It actually, the Type Ed should have just the same amount,
right?
Because they do amazing work. Now, if you're into typography and learning typography, Rachel Elnar and Michael Stinson are the people to go to. They're amazing. And if you look at their page, they do very consistent graphics. The Typography Dojo is a interview series. They have lessons. They have other things that it's just like little tips and stuff like that, and they really super kill it when it comes to typography. I'm doing some stuff with them, and I'm so lucky to be associated with them. But you can see the consistency that they bring. If you look on Instagram, Grayscale Gorilla, I love his work, and John Contino is one of my favorite lettering artists. Christo's Future. Now, if you look at all these, they're very consistent. You know what you're going to get. I don't see Chris in a pool, drinking a margarita. Very rarely I see that. But I want to come here I want to see these people's art, and it's really kind of inspiring too, because I look at it, I'm just like, the amount of work they put out is super inspiring. So I feel like if I'm doing anything but putting out my work, I'm doing myself a disservice. Mm-hmm. So the seven here is one I heard recently. I love it. Don't play me country music when I tune in for hip hop. So it can be kind of jarring when you get to these different platforms. So like Twitter, which is more, you want short bursts. It's about writing. It's about sharing stuff quickly. Facebook, you can get more elaborate. If you have a business, you can do really well with it. But I would say it's more for personal. So your family, your friends, and communication that way. Instagram is for sharing pictures, so there's not a lot of words involved. And then LinkedIn is more business related. So let me ask you a quick question, Sebastian.
Yo.
If you were to only be on one of these platforms, which one would you choose?
Dang, all right, so I'm one of those jerks that I have to get a qualifier. Am I doing, I guess because the topic is being an artist, like I have to pick that, right? I have to kind of think about it that way, right? All right, because man, I use social media really bad, but I guess, man, I definitely would not use Facebook for that. I wouldn't think of LinkedIn, not just because I'm kind of new to LinkedIn. So then it kind of leaves me between Twitter and Instagram. Because I'm thinking artist, I want to go towards Instagram so I could visually tell you a story, because a lot of times artists are more visual storytellers. So that's kind of
it's kind of a trick question, because there is really no right answer.
Bro, thanks, bro. You set me up.
But I was interested more in which one you would have chosen had you only had one.
Yep.
So again, there's no right answer. Strangely and probably controversially, LinkedIn is probably the one that I would be on the most.
That makes sense. And that's why I was like, I wanted to go there, because I mean, like, if we're trying to generate work, like that's where you would go.
But that's it. LinkedIn is the first place that I believe that people go to see who you are professionally.
Gotcha.
So if that's tight, you don't have anything to worry about. A lot of the I won't say rhetoric, but there's a lot of pushback on it and how LinkedIn kind of does business, which I'm totally in agreement with. I'll still get the emails from people that I'm already connected to saying let's connect on LinkedIn. So they have work to do in that area. But I would tighten that up. I don't connect on LinkedIn much at all. But there are certain people that I would want them to see my what I'm putting out there professionally. And I had a friend who was the only person I knew at the time that was making six figures. Yeah. He was only on LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
Now, the caveat is that you do have to have a Facebook account, potentially a Twitter account. And as an artist, I would say that Instagram is probably one to have. And the reason I say that is because they want to know you're a human being, that you actually exist. So it's like you're putting yourself out there. You have a digital footprint when it comes to all this stuff. But the real thing is, the best images win social media. So if you do great images on all these things, because it's all visual.
I agree with that.
Definitely kick butt when it comes to your images, and do not compromise. and make them consistent. That's what I was talking about before. So a bit of an addendum to this one is using hashtags. Now I have this as Christo, but he had these relevant hashtags. But my girlfriend is the one that really stresses this, using hashtags properly. Let me ask you, what are hashtags used for?
So you make up phrases, like super long ones, that nobody really knows about, and inside jokes. No, I'm just kidding. I've just seen those. So like I've actually thrown some up as a joke, but all right. The legit thing, the reason the thing I use of hashtags is it's a tagging system to be able to catalog, like basically give you an idea of what this post is about, so people could find it easily or something like that. That's kind of how I look at them.
So a lot of people use them for sarcasm. There's a ton of comedians out there. I think that we all don't need to be funny. So I follow some amazing comedians. So when I see something that's funny, I kind of like, But hashtags are actually really super useful, and we're actually going to use one at the end. So I'm going to use one effectively when it comes to giving away something in the end. So you actually, if you look up a hashtag, so say that I want, let's say graphic design. So hashtag graphic design. When you put that into your Twitter post, you're going to be put into the algorithm of relevant graphic design. Now that's a very wide one, but when you dial it down and there's less noise on there, you're actually going to be a part of these things when people look it up. So it's actually very good. So I don't know, if you make one Sebastian Bleak, you can actually say, hey, tag me Sebastian Bleak or whatever, or SBOTC.
Yeah.
When you do these types of things, and you can actually have a running dialogue of people that are trying to get in touch with you and talk to you within this channel. So say, hey, tag me with this. So it's basically a tag. So it can be used very effectively, but also you're going to get into that ecosystem.
Like I've used them, I tag a bunch of my work, Adobe Grind, anytime it's like something that has to do with my nerdy stuff. It's just something I picked. It's kind of vague, but I don't know if that's like the best use for it. A better use was one when I was running design contests with Astute Graphics. So we had monthly contests going. And for example, like if we did one in September, it would be something like it would be AG September 2017. And that was how everybody was entering their basically their design submissions were done that way. And we would look at the hashtags like at the end of the month, and then that's how we were able to like kind of see what people were submitting.
Right. So if you think about that, the fact that it was so vague is going to filter out a lot of stuff. There's not going to be a lot of stuff in there so that you're able to do that. If you're trying to get into a, say, Cinema 4D, you put C4D. Yeah. You're going to be put into this big pool of people that are actually doing that kind of stuff. So you're actually going to be coming up regularly. So it's dialing in. It's almost like kind of like a Google thing. Like if you're going to look up, I don't know, a health spa in a certain city, you're going to look up those three terms. So if you think about them in those terms, it's going to be a lot better. Do not use them in Facebook. They do not work in Facebook.
I thought they worked now. I thought they worked.
And not as effectively as I think that they do in Twitter and Instagram. Yeah. I could be wrong on that because things change all the time. Yeah. But like literally for Instagram, you can put up, I believe, 30 hashtags. So I look up all the relevant things. When I do my craft beer and baseball blog, I literally have like a notepad or a notes thing that I copy and paste in. I change it. So I always have those in there. When I do the DMALA social media, I have ones that go in there, and it definitely boosts up. You get in that ecosystem and the algorithm.
I like that too. That they have, I like using some that are kind of specialty. So like, when I think of motion graphics, like if you're in the know, instead of motion graphics, you'd probably say MoGraph or something like that.
Right.
Or like, I follow a lot of calisthenics teams and stuff like that. So they'll have like, I don't know, bar stars or something like that. So it's kind of like if you're in the community, you'll know that. kind of like Carlos has a couple hashtags. He has hashtags don't use, hashtag too much, hashtag hashtags.
Yeah. Yeah. So but if you look up hashtag, and then see what's in there, you'll be like, oh my God, this is a digital dump. So
digital dump. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
there's okay. So what shouldn't you share? So if you're a brand and you're basically a business, so Chick-fil-A wouldn't put out an employee's family, right? Mm-hmm. So going through this, which one, and this is from the book as well. So which one would you do?
Oh man, so I'm guilty of all of them, bro. But I'm guilty of all of them, bro. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. None of them really. I don't know. Work's the only one I could think of. I don't know. When I was thinking of work, I was thinking like the location. But you're right. The work. You're right.
Share your work.
Yep.
So everybody, but if your business is dogs, do dogs. Yep. If your business is cats, do cats. Kids is definitely, you definitely want to probably. There's no, unless it's on your personal Facebook, you probably want to do kids. I've rarely showed my son. I have a 15-year-old son, and I asked him one time. I go, "Would you have wanted me to put you out there since you were little?" And he goes, "No." So I saved him a lot, but I was actually very, very conscious of it because your privacy is the last thing you have. So I understand about sharing, and you want other people to see it. There was actually a thing on Howard Stern recently. It was an old thing where the producer of the show actually blocked Howard on Facebook so he wouldn't see a post that he did. Well, he made the post public. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter if he unfriended him. So it became a whole big thing. So I was screaming through the whole thing. I'm just like, you're so So tip 9, create quality posts over quantity. Mm-hmm. So, and Melissa says this as well. So you're always trying to do the best posts you can. You don't have to do 100 posts because it just becomes static. No, people don't even want to see you that much. But if you do it consistently, you're actually going to get a lot more engagement. People are actually going to see it. They won't be overwhelmed by it, and they'll actually it takes the heat off you, I think. So you don't have to post everything every single minute. I think a lot of people like to do stuff in real time and show that they're there. But remember, that seems like a personal thing. Yeah. If I'm at Adobe Max or I'm at a conference, I'd like to share that I'm there, and those are the types of things where I probably post a little bit more. Right. But when it comes to my process, like we said before, share something small every day.
I like it.
Last one, we got through this.
Cool.
Is stick around. So what I mean by that is you're going to have a long career.
Yep.
If you want it. If you don't want it, do whatever you want, but definitely curate your career that you want. And I could be digging a ditch. Mm-hmm. I could be hanging off the side of a wall, a building, squeegeeing a window. That's work.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough where my talent is doing art and art-related things. So I literally just stuck around, and I just keep on doing it. And when you do it, that's how you get more notoriety, and you put yourself out there and do it properly. And there's no properly. It's not a right and wrong. It's just doing it where you're about your brand. So would Coke put something out about Pepsi? Probably not.
Right.
So you have to think about that. So just keep going. So I didn't do enough Gary Vee, so I'm going to do some motivational. So don't dwell on your weaknesses. Everybody else is already doing that for you. I think that's sound advice. The only thing holding you back is you're worried about what other people have to say. I'm totally guilty of that. And some people can say like, oh, you're just kind of sharing stuff that's already out there. Well, that may be true, but it's like if somebody hears it for the first time and someone learns about Gary Vee and they get something else out of it, I'm helping him, but he's helped me, so I want to help. Just keep on the positivity.
Yeah.
And then finally, this says it all.
Woo!
To do it, you have to do the work. It sucks. It sucked to have to post separately on Twitter, post separately on Facebook, post separately on any other medium, but you have to do it differently. You don't want to have the same things on all these different platforms. It's a lot of work, but you have to do it. So,
the bear's back.
There you go. So thank you. I wanted to thank Sebastian for letting me just go through this. It's been very, I want to say cathartic. I hope that's the use of that word. So, but it's definitely helps me because this is something that I had to learn a long time ago. I was like networking, being an artist. That's how I met Christo. That's how I've been associated with you, being a part of this networking group, doing this correctly. This is the social media. I realize Nerdy Connection doesn't have on the Twitter doesn't have an S. That's because we ran out of letters. You actually letters, so you find out that out the hard way. And then Mondragon Design. That's all the links for that. And finally, I'm going to give away this book. I'm going to give you an opportunity. So we're going to use Twitter on this one.
Yeah.
I need you to...
There's a hashtag, look.
The hashtag, there you go. So it's Mondragon Design. I want you to use that in there. I want you to use Sebastian Bleak in there. And use the hashtag Off the Clock. Please say something if you got something out of this, or if you didn't. Definitely, I'm not opposed to either or. I love hearing feedback. If you got one thing out of this, if you got nothing out of it, definitely please let me know. But I felt I had to share. So thank you a lot for, because we could have gone through and I could have showed you the technical ways of using fonts and outlines and Illustrator, but I feel like this is something that I got a lot of benefit from. So, and I feel like you're in a pivot place right now, Sebastian, where this was really going to benefit you as well. So I hope it did.
Man. Yeah, no, I learned a lot, man. And to be real, I'm like, am I messing up? Am I messing up?
Well, that's too that I thought when Melissa and I first started doing this type of thing. I kept on asking her. I go, please teach me how to do this right. And she goes, there is no right.
Yeah.
The thing I know now is that I would not, when I do stuff, it's with me in mind, where I'm trying to promote myself, I'm trying to get myself out there. I felt like, for as much experience as I had, the people didn't know that I was an artist. And I didn't put myself out there like that. So she taught me that you can be anybody online.
Right.
And you can, but you don't have to be a genius, but you should definitely be in the ballpark.
I like that. That's pretty cool, man. So like, I'll tell you some of the parts that like I was kind of feeling like I'm messing up on. My Twitter I think is cool because I pretty much just post my work there all day. Facebook, that's usually where I go for my family-oriented stuff and all that. But yeah, when you were talking about the Instagram, when you're talking about like posting like lunch and stuff like that, I was like, man, that's not my Instagram, dude. I mean, he's talking about my Instagram. So on my Instagram, I put stuff like, I don't know. I'll put some food. I'll put some workout stuff. I'll put like personality type of stuff like. And I guess another thing that I actually like from what you said too is don't post for likes, because I think that's pretty much what I'm like. I kind of I post half work, and the other half I kind of try to put my personality, kind of like who's this guy, like that type of thing. And that's kind of what I use Instagram for. So I don't know. You got me thinking a lot.
Who do you admire, Sebastian, as an artist?
Oh man, As an artist, I'm not even sure, bro.
It could be even music.
All right. I mean, Von Glitchka. How about that?
Okay. And I'm so glad you said Von Glitchka, and I hope he hears this. I don't think that he cares how many people are following him.
Right.
Doesn't care.
Right.
And he probably has a whole bunch, right? It's kind of what we're going up to.
Right.
He's so good at what he does, I feel that gets the attention.
Yep.
And he has the ear of people because he's good.
Yep.
He actually, when when I met him at Adobe Max, I said to him, I go, I love how like crotchety you are, because you say things that I feel needs to be said, as far as like why does Illustrator do this? And he actually gets that type of reaction, and it's like, I'm sure that they'd be like, oh my God, this guy has a lot of influence. They probably get on it a little bit quicker. But I don't think that he stresses out about, oh my God, this post only has 100 likes, or all these people are following me. Like, think of like Guns N' Roses. Do you think they care how many people are following them? I'm sure they did if it was 0, but it's not.
Not at all.
So just concentrate on what you do, and that will come, because you don't have to stress about it. We have a society now of kind of validation. So it's like, I have to post things to show that I'm doing okay. And when like I will be completely honest when I say this, that I feel like I have friends who think that I've fallen off the planet because and also my girlfriend as well, because we're super dedicated to what we do. We're super dedicated to, we have a lot to prove. And I think that I won't say that we wasted time, but I think we had some setbacks that definitely were not fair, that we're definitely feel like we're just trying to make up time. So I'll always have that. I'm always trying to, I'm trying to do it as if this is my first day on the job. So I'm always trying to impress. And I heard something, there's also something in the book too, the Austin Kleon book, that says, post as if you're going to get fired for it. If this post isn't good enough, I'm going to get fired for this. And I don't think that people take that seriously enough. So my suggestion to you, Sebastian, is I love seeing your personal stuff, but I would definitely make the separation. So if you want to be professional, definitely have a professional business page, and have a personal page to show you all your lifestyle stuff. So right now you're kind of straddling both, and I don't. That's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
But that would be my suggestion.
Cool.
Whether you take that suggestion.
No. Actually, that's what I was gonna ask you.
I
was actually gonna ask you that because I saw a friend of mine. She has a personal page, and then she decided to open up one for something else. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I like the points you made for that, and I think that's true for all of them. And then I end up leaning like towards Instagram, having a little bit of a mix, mainly because, I mean, if anything, I think I would probably just lean towards not posting anything professional on my Instagram anymore. Like if I were to follow you, I would be like, all right, I would just like stop posting there, because I get more professional interaction on Twitter and even Facebook than I do on Instagram. On Instagram, it's more of like it's like my scrapbook for who I am or something like that.
So definitely embrace that, because you've gone through this. This isn't like your first day doing this. You've done it through a process. You've figured it out. There actually is analytics on all this stuff as well, so you can actually see what your audience is, and we can definitely that's always the conversation stopper. It's like, hey, listen, you think that your audience is here, they're actually here. Yeah. So that's usually analytics is like the deal breaker when it comes to all this stuff. But if that's the truth, definitely embrace that. And I would say, if you're gonna do it, go all in. Don't straddle the line, and go for it. So if Twitter is your place and you're getting the most engagement, go for it there, because that's always good. And there'll be people out there that will argue that and say, well, what if Twitter goes away tomorrow? That's always a possibility.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
No, you can't be. You have to do what you have to do in the moment, and you can't do this through fear.
And actually, I'm lying. Probably my most professional like as far as engagements go, is YouTube. For some reason, I don't think of YouTube as a social media platform, even though it totally is, and these engagements definitely are. So it's like on YouTube, that's where I get like requests, like how do you do this, and like I like this video. Like it's constantly that, and that's what, as far as like my professional stuff goes, that's where I'm. That's my stuff. That's my zone right there. So. But I use Twitter to promote my YouTube channel, and so that's why on Twitter you almost never see anything personal about me there at all. Where I use Instagram, and I like more personal, and it filters into Facebook, and so it's kind of like that. But like it's kind of a mix. But anyway, yeah. Like.
No, but you just kind of answered your own question. You're trying to do video tutorials. You're trying to do these types of things that are going to get you out there and a name in this realm. YouTube video is it. Yeah. You figured that out. So you're right. Doing anything outside of that, you're doing yourself a disservice because you really need to be honest.
I like this talk. You know what? Because it's kind of like a self-inventory type of thing. Because like a lot of times I'm kind of just going through the motions, kind of feeling things out, kind of walking blind. But right now you kind of had me thinking about it a little bit more. And it kind of like sharpens the focus a little bit on. I mean, man, you got me hyped.
Well, that's it. And it's like, if you're doing something well, isn't that what you want anyway?
Yep.
So it's like, just keep on feeding the thing. And by the way, YouTube is for music, for videos, it's a search engine. Yep. It's a video search engine. Yeah. Everything is going to go video. I just did some 360 video this weekend.
Awesome.
So that was amazing. Some 4K 360 video on a little, $150 camera. Like, it was so much fun, and I'm learning. I'm hitting my head. Learning all the things. I'm like, oh my gosh, the thing overheats really quickly when it's in the sun. I'm learning that the sound is actually really great. I was really kind of amazed by the sound. I learned that don't go over 10 minutes because it splits the clips. So it's like there's a whole bunch of things that you wind up learning. But like just like the Snapchat spectacles that you see right there, we got them because I wanted to be so ahead of this. I wanted to know everything. And that curiosity and that learning is actually got me. I went and looked at the Microsoft HoloLens. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah. It's super crazy, like insane. Like it's kind of where technology is going. But it's like that curiosity just keeps on fueling me. And then when I started sharing that type of stuff, you were amazed at the feedback that I was getting. And I don't even do it. I'm just associating myself with it, and people recognize it.
Right.
So definitely, stick with it. Go, and sometimes you need someone to go like, I don't know why you're on Snapchat when your engagement on Facebook on YouTube is insane. So.
Yeah, dude, it's because I when I post professional stuff on Instagram, I don't get as much engagement. But then like when I'll post like personal stuff, like just like enjoying Los Angeles, food stuff, a lot of workout stuff, because like I used to be super fat. So, and then when I post stuff like that, I do get more engagement there. And I think I just kind of cultivated that more. And then like on Twitter, dude, it's like every day. I love waking up and seeing my retweets and stuff. Shout out to the folks that help me out on Twitter, man. Because it's great seeing that stuff there. And I love when I post videos on YouTube. There's usually like 4 or 5 people that like they're waiting for it to drop. They throw me some little comments and stuff, and it's just kind of fun. So it's just like, so you're trying to build an audience, and you have a built-in audience, and now you have to give them good content. It's just like a television station. If there's a station called Vice that I girlfriend and I watch a lot. If they all of a sudden like had, I don't know, like a variety show from like the 70s, I'd be like, what the hell? What the heck's going on? But a lot of their content is the same. So if you think about that, you're creating content. So
if when you start making that content, it becomes valuable, it becomes yours, and you can take advantage of it. Again, that's a whole different discussion, but just you're doing the right things. I mean, for you, if someone else was just starting, I'd have to do a whole analysis on kind of where they're at, and we would definitely do that. But I think you're there. We're also, in the background, we're also helping you kind of cultivate some of the things that we can help you with as well.
Shout out Nerdy Connections. Woo!
Right on. So, but again, your success is our success.
Yep.
So definitely want to make that clear. And I was like, when you go to Adobe Max, sometimes people notice you.
Dude, we're going to Adobe Max, bro.
Oh, exactly. It's amazing. That's Las Vegas. Oh my God. So I love Vegas, but when I put my face on all these platforms, people started recognizing me for this. So it's like it was exactly the end goal. People knew me. They probably didn't know my work because I didn't put it out there correctly. Now I'm starting to put it out there correctly. So it's a strategy.
All right, bro. When we're at Adobe Max, you got to remind me to go get a new portrait taken, so I could use that for my social media stuff. So I could have them all, from like you teaching me. I got to update my Facebook one back to the one you said. I noticed the other day it switched back, so I got to take care of that. So all right, bro.
You got it.
I was gonna say, so you got anything you want to wrap this up with, and if you mind showing that slide one more time for that one,
Yeah. So please, on Twitter, Mondragon Design and Sebastian Bleak, hashtag off the clock. Say hello, or if you saw this, let me know if you like it, and we'd love to see you back. Definitely follow Sebastian Bleak on this Twitch channel. He has a lot of great artists on here. And it goes consistently. He also has his Never Stop Learning. So yeah, definitely check us out and share the love, and we'd be happy to share the love as well.
Dude, 322 weeks of Never Stop Learning, and I haven't missed a single week.
I haven't done anything 322 times, I don't think. Maybe eat or sleep. Right. But that's awesome. What a streak. You're going to be like Cal Ripken.
I like that.
2031.
I like that. So, all right, make sure you guys hit us up on Twitter. Use the hashtag, tag both of us, or else it doesn't count. We need some engagement, and then you get this free awesome book, and you'll be a beast at social media. How about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick one person, and whoever I feel is the most engaging, and I'm gonna send you this book for free. I'm gonna give it a week, so it's like by next Monday.
Yep.
So have the whole weekend so we can get this video out there. But yeah, please definitely hit us up on all of our social media.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and make sure you follow Michael Mondragon. Check out Nerdy Connections, all that fun stuff. All right, dude. So what's up? You ready to get out of here? Let's go get some tacos, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, for sure. All right, guys, we're up out of here. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Sebastian.
For sure. Thank you, Michael. You're awesome, bro.
I try.
You're social media savage, bro.
I don't know about that.
Later, Carlos. Carlos says, thanks for the great advice, Michael.
Hey, glad I could be helped.
All right, guys. Peace.